What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. We have got the return of a 3D scanned track here in MX Bikes, and the UK tracks are finally getting some love. B Clay has undergone a bit of a personal project of his own recently, and he's working on a whole bunch of UK tracks that he's scanning. He's going there real life, taking his drone with him, taking hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures, merging them all together, and getting it to show up in game as well. So what you're seeing here is his first one of those. It is the result of all those scanned images being put together and thrown into game. However, it's not just a case of it's scanned, it's put in game and it's done. There is still a lot of personal touches that go on here to make it rideable in MX Bikes. So first one being it is scaled up by 5% to make the track a little bit larger, and then also kind of hand drawn in a bunch of these bumps and ruts again on top just to accentuate some features. So Sherwood MX Park we are at today, and is a track I've never actually been to myself, even though where I currently live, it's only about an hour and a half drive away. So we'll see if that happens in the future. It's always interesting playing a track in a game before you've ridden it in real life, which was what happened to me with that Ducati test day at Apex before. I rode Apex in MX Simulator years and years and years ago, and then riding it in real life, it was a bit surreal. It's like I've been here before, but I haven't. So we're going to try and spin some laps today and show off this track to the very best of my ability. It looks technical, it looks rough, it looks rutty, so we'll see how it goes. It looks like B Clay sent this to one or two of the UK people before releasing it, just to get people's thoughts from guys that have ridden it themselves in real life, like Tyler, for example, like Cam as well. And he sent me a screenshot of a lap time that Tyler ran, which was a 1:27.9. So what that means is for people that only have 5 fingers on each hand rather than 7, you're probably going to be looking at maybe like a 1:35 or something like that. So I'll see if I can do my best job possible. There are parts of this track that are sand traction, and then parts of it that are normal soil. Reason for this is Sherwood is quite a loamy track in real life. It can get pretty deep, and we'll see. We'll see how this goes. And B Clay asked if he should mix sand types together. And I said, as long as there's a visual differentiation of when the track is sand soil compared to soft soil, don't mind it at all. And right now, it looks like the lighter soil, so what I'm on at the moment, almost like an orangey to white kind of soil, is different compared to this darker brown soil here. So there is a visual difference in terms of the traction, which is... I gave him the example of there's been GP tracks in the past in game, like the JV's ones from 2023, where there's been some sand traction thrown into corners here and there, but there was no visual cue. So you'd be leant over at a certain angle on soft soil and it would be fine, you'd have the grip. And then you'd meet the sand halfway through, and that lean angle that you once had ends up then being too much lean for the sand and you just wash out. So it was weird because you had to like really memorize the track in a way that didn't feel normal, purely because there was no visual cue on when the soil type was changing. I mean, in real life, you're never going to have two identical looking, even down to the colour, maybe it's slightly watered more, I don't know, two identical looking dirts that feel completely different to ride. So we'll see how this goes, and so far it's a good job. It's like a slight change, but once you've got the mental note of it, oh my goodness, please survive. Yes, once you've got the mental note of light dirt, sand, dark dirt, soft soil, you should be pretty damn good. And I've thrown the KTM on today as well, because I feel like the KTM handles rough chop the best out of any of the 450 bikes. And there's a lot of like chattery bumps around here, I'm noticing at the moment. And last night, I'm sorry to spoil it for you, if you haven't had the chance to watch SMX Round 2 from mine last night, go and watch it now. But I had an astonishingly bad night of racing last night. I really, really did. And I couldn't even tell you really what went wrong. I just wasn't playing the game too well. I was riding the Fantic. I rode the Fantic at Budds Creek 2 weeks ago, which got me my first moto win of the year. I then used the Fantic at round 1 of SMX, which gave me a 2-4 for second overall, and I felt good in them races. And then I used exactly that same setup last night and went 6-8. And I can't even put it down to bad starts either, because in Moto 1, I didn't get the whole shot, but I very quickly got into the lead after Cam went down, and I just couldn't hold it there. I was wadding all over the place. The track was very, very difficult, and I do kind of feel bad for Stone Rider to an extent when he has to replicate these tracks in game, because some of them just don't work particularly well. They're going to be very, very one-lined based on the track's layout. But the good part of it was the track was difficult, so it created a big skill gap, which is probably why I wanted myself so much, because big old skill issue. And then, so we had the ruts in there, we had a couple of bumps in there, there was a few different sand sections. It was that, just that one-linedness that was a bit crazy. And there was one line that you could do where you can step on top of an over-under bridge, and that was a pain in the bum. It was kind of like make or break for a lot of people. It's one of them lines that I thought the erode would make not doable after a while. I thought the erode would make the jump like take off too choppy, or it would kick you in a weird way, or the rut would get too dug out, and that didn't actually happen, which was interesting. I didn't expect that to be the case whatsoever. So no idea, bad one. We'll forget about that. We'll try and move into next week, which is on a drag strip again, I think, so it might treat me a little bit better than this one did. I am looking at my lap time right now. I don't think I crashed last lap, and I had a 1:42. So how does one gain 15 seconds of time around a track when I feel like I'm going at an okay pace and I'm not crashing? I think I'm washed. I'll be honest, boys, it might be time to go down the Reaper.doc route, and I'm just going to start playing Battlefield when that comes out and just stop uploading COD anymore. That was a 140. Was it really a 127 that you ran? 127.9? I need 13 seconds. Are you high? What are the split times? 29... So he was 3.8 seconds quicker in Sector 1, 5 seconds in Sector 2, and 4 seconds in Sector 3. I don't know what these youngsters are on these days. I don't know if it's that new G Fuel formula that came out that are giving them that extra kick, and they've just started injecting it directly into the veins rather than mixing it with anything. By the way, use code LINS at checkout at G Fuel for 20% off full purchase, thank you. I don't know if they've got a new gaming chair. I don't know what's going on at the moment, but my God, I have days where I feel like I'm pushing my own limits of going down every corner, and I'm still like 5 seconds off in a lap time. I really don't understand it. The fall off needs to be studied, but we're trying to have... it's weird, I'm having more overall fun on the game at the moment, despite my worst results, than I have throughout most of this year. And I think it's purely the fact that I enjoy the challenge of difficult tracks over really, really easy ones. It's like, I had a win at the Tampa Supercross round this year. That win, because the track was a flat track, was less enjoyable than like last week's getting a second and a fourth, you know? It's hard to explain, but it's just personal preference, you know, at the end of the day. I think some people want the game to be quite hard, some people want the game to be a bit easier so they haven't got to put a bunch of time in. I'm in that kind of middle ground where I want to be able to rock up on a Friday and do well, but I also don't really fancy playing the game during the week either. And it's one thing, you have to kind of pick your poison. You can't have the best of both worlds. You either got to put a little bit of time in, keep the fingers nice and toasty throughout the week to do well on a Friday, or you don't play it and you do very average. It's a bit of a snowball effect. It's like if you have a bad race, you don't want to play the game, so then the next week you rock up without any practice and you do bad, so then you don't want to play the game. So then next week you rock up without any practice, so you do bad, so you don't want to play the game. On the flip side, you have a good race, you're like, oh, I'm enjoying the game right now, then you play it a bit more, so then you'll have a better race the next week because you played the game. So then you want to practice, so then you play the game, and then you get, you know, it's just ongoing, over and over and over again. But most of my time, at the moment, is kind of free now. I spent the last, I would say, month just grinding the life out of COD, because I wanted to get to max level 1000 before the new one came out. And I have done so. And now I feel a bit empty. Don't know what to do with myself, so now I've just started going for like all of the zombie Dark Ops calling cards. So that's what I'm doing with my life. And I played a whole bunch of Water Park Simulator, which if you haven't seen that game, it's actually quite funny. It's quite interesting. It's very hectic. It's not as chill as I thought it would be. I feel like most simulator games are meant to be nice and relaxing, but I've had a good time doing that. Today, I don't know what time this video will go up. It's probably worth me mentioning that the track is due to come out at some point today. I don't know the exact timing. It might already be out on the shop, in which case I'll have it linked in the description. If it's not already out, just keep an eye on the shop throughout the course of today. and excited to watch the real life SMX tonight. Apparently it's going to be quite a late one. I think it starts at something like 9 PM. Actually, that might even be 9 PM for the Americans. Oh, God knows what time it starts for us then. I might have to have a little midday nap so I can try and stay awake to the best of my ability. But I'm very happy that BClay has undergone his own personal mission of bringing some love to the UK tracks and MX bikes. The UK's motocross tracks are always a bit of a strange one to get into this game, because whilst everyone wants their like local tracks to be in the game, a lot of them don't work particularly well. I think there's two reasons for that. First one is the amount of land available in the UK is nothing compared to that of the US. So the tracks are a lot smaller, like tighter, twistier in general, which doesn't tend to work too well in MX bikes. You want something a bit more open, a bit more fast-paced and flowy. And then the second one is, I feel like a lot of it's insurance-based, where they don't want to build anything too dangerous. So Motor 101, for example, is just tabletops everywhere. You know, turns and tabletops, and then straights, and that's it. Whereas you go to the US, you got these massive like booters everywhere, like huge doubles. You can rock up at Redbud on a weekend and have just random riders trying to send the Rocco's Leap and wadding the shit out of themselves, and stuff like that would never really fly here. And it's more on the track creators, the track owners. Insurance than anything. They don't want people to be going off in an ambulance or a helicopter every other day from people wadding themselves, so that's understandable. But those two things combined, the land and the tameness of the tracks, is why you don't get too much crazy stuff. I would say the best UK track that we've had in game for quite some time now was the pre-season GP race at Hawkston Park that JV made, and I don't think anything else even comes close to that in terms of British tracks. A few people have had goes at Canada Heights over the years, but that's all been like handmade stuff. There's not been any, I don't think, true scaling involved there, and to ride, they've not been amazing. Even going back to the original Canada Heights that Jin made years ago, like, it's hella difficult, but it still lacks that little, like, those finishing touches. And Jin, please come back to MX Bike, we miss you, thank you. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, I feel a little bit congested when I woke up this morning. I hope I'm not getting sick at all. There's no reason for me to get ill. I haven't left the house and been in contact with anyone that could get me ill whatsoever. It's very, very rare that I get sick these days, so keep myself locked up inside. Probably doesn't help the immune system much whatsoever, but yeah, I hate being sick, man. It's just an annoyance at the end of the day, isn't it? It's like going around with a snotty nose or a cough. It's just, oh, just go away, just leave me alone. You ever lay in bed with a blocked nose, and then you kind of take for granted all the times that you had a clear nose and you could breathe properly? I've had that many, many times. I'm wadding myself all over the place. I don't know what BClay smoked, but when he was working on this track, in Aerial General, he added Cam and Tyler, but then also added myself and Reaper Dot saying Hot Lap Battle. I don't know what universe he thinks that myself and Reaper are even getting close to a Tyler or a Cam Hot Lap, but 13 seconds off is kind of crazy work. I'm not going to lie. I could spend the next 24 hours grinding this track, and I could tell you I would get nowhere near A127. My brain can't fathom that. I can understand being 5 seconds off. 13 seconds off, however, I've not got you there, Chief. So, yeah, overall though, it's actually quite a fun track. It works pretty damn well, I would say. And you definitely want a well-tuned setup for this. I mean, the KTM does seem to be munching these bumps right now. I'm not getting too much of a weird kick at all. And you got to try and stay on top of your game. It's a lot more... It's deceptively technical. Like, a lot more technical than I thought it would be. And again, when I think of UK tracks, I just think of just like really, really easy. And it would be nice to go and ride Sherwood at some point now. Although I am very, very bad at like deepish, almost sandy-ish tracks in real life. They are my kryptonite. I love myself a bit of hard-pack Blue Groove, which I know is a very, very unpopular opinion. It's just what I grew up riding. You know, I really, really struggle on the sand stuff, as evident from my Hawkstone GoPro from couple months back now. I'm just awful with it. I was not good in it whatsoever. But then I have GoPros on tracks that were like really, really dusty and slick on practice days where I'd say I'm riding 3 times as fast as I do in the sand. I think a lot of it's a mental thing as well as the skill issue on top of that. But in-game, it rides absolutely fine, no problem at all. So I would like to thank all of you for watching. I would like to thank BClay, not only for making this track in the first place, but also having a talented creator going out of the way to give some love to the UK track making scene also. Just not something we've had for many, many years now at this point. So I'm excited to see what comes next. Now 11 seconds off, not 13 anymore. We're making improvements. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Go and check out the track whenever it releases today on the shop. I hope you enjoy it as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy watching SMX later on tonight. See you next time. Peace.